Hello and welcome to the Intentional Parenting Academy Annual Conference of 2023. Our names are Sylvester and
Oluwagbemisola Ogaji. How we met Coach Wendy. I met Coach Wendy via a WhatsApp platform I belong to, 2021, and I started following her anonymously. And then after 2022 TIP annual conference, we took the bold step to join the TIP inner circle, and we became yarders. And it has been a wonderful experience till date.
Our experience in the inner circle from December 2022 to date, 7 months from now.
It's been awesome. That's all I can say. Experience, they say, is the best teacher. You can just come and experience it. We've been able to learn how to connect properly with our children. We've been able to learn how to discipline the right way, far from what the world knows. We've been able to read books monthly and review it. This is awesome. We've been able to have different activities, understanding our children's learning styles and temperament. It's been awesome, and we are still counting.
Before we joined the inner circle, it was a struggle trying to get the children up in the morning, trying to give them a structured activity, trying to make them understand principles, emotional intelligence, and so many other things.
Yes.
How to coordinate in life, how to, transform from being who they are to a better person.
Yes.
But TIP gave us that opportunity to have a better family.
Yes. We are more calmer. We are more respectful towards each other. We do everything now with peace and calm, all because we are yarders. That is what we call ourselves in the inner circle, actually.
The University of Parenting in Nigeria.
Actually, it's throughout the worldwide. And so we encourage people that are in this conference to take this bold step and thank us later. Just come and be in the inner circle and your whole life, not only about parenting. I found purpose as a person while in the TIP. There are things I've not been able to do with my own life personally now. I've been able to find how to do it. Direction. TIP is the expectation, is all encompassing. You will learn how to reparent yourself first, and then you can now parent your own children better.
As Coach Wendy we always say, parenting is about us, not the children.
Exactly.
So what to expect in the conference in 2023? Be prepared. Grab a drink. Ensure you register. And when you do that, be attentive. Listen to what will be taught during the conference. And be prepared to change. Don't claim you know it all. Parenting have a manual.
Yes. And the manual is how you write it. Parenting indeed is war. And it is only those who are prepared, just like in the days of Noah, that will survive the flood of parenting in years to come.
The title of the conference this year again is the Battlefield of
Parenting.
Yeah, the Battlefield of Parenting 2023. Ensure you register and be in the conference. Ensure you take home something, and ensure you inform a lot of people in your cycle, because when you have better parents around you, you also have a better children around you. Thank you.
We welcome you to 2023 annual conference.
Hi everyone, Shadi Babalola is my name, and I am doing this video to talk about the Carries coding classes. I enrolled my kids from the scratch, and they are now in the advanced classes. I would tell you, don't think when you enroll your kids, in no time they can start building games, writing stories with coding and all of that. That's not the only thing. It helps their IQ. And that is what STEM does. And STEM is the future. It is the future. So your kids can be in any class and then still learn technology. Coding is the way. It's so affordable. Trust me. Highly affordable for what the kids are going to get. So hurry. Enroll your kids now.
Hello everybody, my name is Mrs. Chiamaka Umo, and just a quick one about what my kids were able to achieve at that short period of time. I enrolled them in the beginners class for Charis Coding Club, and it was so exciting for me as a parent. In fact, my kids were always looking forward to the next weekend so they can join the class, and they were able to achieve a whole lot. The kids now can create simple games and animations that will keep them busy instead of going about playing with my phones. And in fact, I can't wait for them to start the next class this summer. I would encourage every parent, instead of keeping your kids at home or taking them to the school for them to start learning what they've been learning while in school, they can do something different. I would encourage you as a parent to enroll your kids in Charis Coding Club this summer. Thank you.
For the wall.
All right, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are joining me from. I can see a lot of persons in the comment section. Please, let me see more of that. Your fire emojis. I see you tagging people. Thank you very much, everybody. You're welcome to tonight's session. It is day 6, and we are in for the last leg of today's sessions. If you are not ready, get ready now. Our next speaker is the one and only Coach Eden Onwuka. After her, we'll have David Folarome, and then we'll close out tonight's session with Reverend Christy. Those are the people we have lined up for you tonight. It's been 24 or so speakers thus far, and you don't want to miss the last part of tonight. And you are welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here. Yes, I can see all the fire emojis. That tells me that you are ready. Welcome. Our speaker is also ready for her session, so I'm just going to take her bio, and in less than 2 minutes, she will be off stage joining us right now. Media team, please, let's have Coach Eden's bio.
This is the IIED Conference.
A. Onwuka, fondly known as the Sage, is a relationship alignment coach and the founder of A Woman and a Half United States of America. She is trained as a neuro-linguistic practitioner and in emotional freedom technique. She is a member of the Maxwell Leadership Team as well as the Forbes Coaches Council. Eden serves as a communication trainer who trains professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs in a quarterly mastermind called CLAP, which stands for Communicate Like a Pro. She currently consults for Bank of America as a business solutions advisor and has overall 19 years corporate experience in financial services with a brief stint in oil and gas. Eden is a best-selling author of 5 books and is positively vocal about cancer advocacy, having survived cancer twice in 2017 and 2022. She encourages others to shame their shame by owning their unique stories. She is a doting mother to 3 phenomenal children and raises them together with her husband and nurturer in Texas, United States of America. A sought-after global speaker at conferences, retreats, companies, and ministries, she has received several recognition and awards for her work with women, including the award for the Most Inspiring Woman of the Year 2022 by NHN at Cappadocia, and most recently, the Woman Empowering Women Award for the year 2023 at Aberdeen in Scotland. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Intentional Parent Annual Conference 2023, Eden Onwoka.
Yes. I see the comment section on fire. Coach Eden is here. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you so very much. I didn't get your name.
My name is Chidozie.
Chidozie, thank you for such a fantastic job. Excellence all around from all the advertisement. Well done, TIP. A huge shout out to Wendy Ologe and the Intentional Parenting Tribe.
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much. It's good to have you. We are so glad and ready. Our time is already running, so I'll just step out of your way and let you have your session.
Okay, fantastic. Hello, everyone. I bring you greetings from Texas. I hope you're ready. If you are ready, just say, I am ready. I want us to move as quickly as we can. I have told them to time me. There's so much we need to do today. I did not come to teach, but you will be taught. I did not come to preach. You might catch some things. You have so many experts. Did you see the lineup? There's nothing more I can add. What I have come to do today is to give you a prophetic activation. I've come to give you a prophetic activation. That's my role today. So some of you will finally receive the strength to move all you've heard from theory to execution. I have come to give you a prophetic activation so that something that has raged from your lineage from one generation to another will finally be broken. My role is to partner with God in your life to cause you to move from where you are to becoming a better parent. I have the responsibility of sharing on becoming a better parent where it matters. Thank you so very much. I can see all the comments. I'll wear my glasses. So let's get you started. A couple of things will happen when you hear me. Let me adjust my wig because this is going to be a little hot. Some of you will be offended, and that's okay. You will not be offended at me. You will be offended by what you will hear. Some of you will be challenged, and that is okay. You will be challenged by what you thought you knew and the new things that you're learning. Some of you will be convicted. I didn't say condemned. That's not the role. That's not what I teach. There's no condemnation. Some of you will be condemned, not condemned, convicted by how much you can see that inadvertently, unconsciously, you've contributed to the craziness in the community, in society, from your home. But some of you and most of you will be empowered finally to say, you know what? The buck stops with me. I will no longer be a contributor to my child's destiny. Awesome. So prophetic activation, that's what I came for. And I bring you greetings again from my wonderful husband, my nurturer, who has had to take my 3 girls out to swimming so that I can have peace to deliver this. But if you hear a sound, just know it's not a pet. It might be one of the kids crawling back. Anyway, let's take some statistics. So you will hear some stories, some statistics. You will hear some scriptural truth. You will hear some scientific research. Then I will move you to the next. Is that okay? Do I have your permission? Please say you have my permission. Just put in the comments, you have my permission. I'm a teaching gift, okay? I'm a coach by calling, a consultant by training, but I'm a teaching gift with a prophetic voice, and teachers like repetitive, okay? So I want you blow up the comment section, engage, okay? So I want you to say, you have my permission. You have my permission. Say, you have my permission. You have my permission to disrupt my life. You have my permission to fix me back. You have my permission to fix me back. Let's take some sobering statistics, and there are a lot. So just fasten your seatbelt, and let's take it away. 1 out of 3 porn videos depict sexual violence. 53% of boys and 39% of girls strongly believe erroneously that porn is an ideal, healthy depiction of reality. Most porn users are less satisfied in relationships, less satisfied in their marriage, and less satisfied in life. The porn industry and the contributors who are viewers of the porn industry inadvertently contribute to the multi-million-dollar business that is human trafficking, sexual slavery. The USA is the largest consumer of child porn, and Mexico was the greatest contributor of trafficked children. 40 million, let me say slowly, 40 million adults in the United States regularly access porn sites. And before you raise up your snobbish Nigerian nose and be like, ooh, damn, no. It is worse where we don't have a statistics. If in a society where there is some sort of checks and balance and data, we have 40 million adults in the United States regularly viewing porn. I'm afraid of what the statistics might be in uncensored parts of the world like Nigeria. I'm Nigerian and American at the same time. 40 million adults regularly view porn. And of those adults, we have parents. That's where I'm going. Follow me. It's a journey. 35% of internet downloads are porn sites. 35% of all internet downloads are porn sites. So when they are working, they might not be working. 115, can someone put it, 115 billion? 115 billion adults searches were made in 2019. 115. Let me adjust this week. What's going on? Because I don't want you to disturb me. We are talking serious business. 115 billion search for sexual content or adult content was made in 2019 before the pandemic. And we know that everything doubled in the pandemic when people had uncensored access to internet. So I'm sure the number is probably 250 billion now. 64% of Christian men and 15% of Christian women say that they view porn at least conservatively once a month. 64% Christian men and 15% Christian women. Adults who access porn regularly are more likely to have biased. Adult men who regularly access porn are more likely to objectify women and have biased, patriarchal, and sexist behaviors that they can carry around even to their workplace. 1 in 5 porn users felt overpowered, controlled by rage and inordinate affection. And porn users are more likely to be depressed, to struggle with incredible, uncontrolled loneliness. 56% of divorces, 56% of divorce cases had a partner who was consumed with porn. So porn broke their marriage because of the addiction in porn and how it affected their behavior. 60% 65%. I am a relationship and mindset coach. I've been supporting marriages, supporting relationship alignment for the past 10 years professionally. And many times, the surface problem is not the problem. The communication problem, as powerful as it is, it's the layers and layers and layers and trickle down to behaviors and addictions like porn. 2.5 billion emails a day are pornographic. Wow. Are you still writing? I need you to, no. You need to keep writing. Go and call your neighbors. Tell them to join the International Parenting Conference. This is not a joke. 2.5 billion emails a day are pornographic. Yes. We are not finished. We're just getting started. Most popular day to view porn. Who can guess? Who can guess? I won't waste time. I wish this was someone can. Who can guess the most popular day to view porn? It's not Monday. It's not Friday. It's not Saturday. It is Sunday. Sunday, according to research, was the most popular day to view pornography. 70% of young men between the ages of 18 to 24 said that they viewed porn at least monthly, and that they viewed group sex. And in addition to it, they viewed porn for an extended 30 minutes. Think of the 30 minutes away from their work, 30 minutes every day, every month. 93% of boys and 62% of girls viewed porn before they turned 18. Yes, I want to provoke you so that you know this is not a joke. So you know why the topic is becoming, my topic is becoming a better parent. The goal is not to have better kids, it's for you and I to become better parents. Yes. 78% of boys looked at porn on a regular basis. 83% of boys have seen group sex, like I said. 67% of children, 67% of children admit to clearing out their research history to hide the fact that they are consciously, continuously viewing porn. So your good child, your glorious child, your I love my baby boo is viewing porn, and you do not know, because 63%, the staggering statistics, clear. So they are not just in the struggle, in the bubble, they are covering their tracks neatly. And you and I are busy. 79%, 79% of children admitted to accidentally. They were not looking for it. They were minding their business, being kids, and boom, something popped up. 79 of them said that their first encounter with porn accidentally was in their own home. From the kids, the parents' TV, soap operas, from their parents' searches. 67 saw porn in their phones. In fact, the average age for porn accidental viewing used to be 13 and 14. Now is actually, you want to know it? 6 to 8, 7 years. And sir, they saw it on your phone while they were playing a game. I cannot prescribe to you how you would live. That's not the intention. I don't have the sophistication, right, to prescribe to you, madam, how you want to live. But I want to submit for your kind consideration that your struggles are overflowing to your kids, whether you know it or not. That's why becoming a better parent where it matters. No, it's not your neighbor. It's in your home, from their adult brothers, older brothers, uncles, but especially for the neck. I had an 8-year-old with porn was already high neck in lesbian porn, and she said she saw it first on her dad's phone accidentally. I hope you're grieving now. And the age is no longer teenagers. And teenage girls between the age of 10 and 4, their most searched porn was lesbianism, and you are wondering why there's gender dysphoria, you are surprised that there is identity confusion. Because if the first quote unquote sexual experience they have, or sexual indoctrination they have, is lesbianism, when they are still in that place where people are struggling with identity, then they think that what they see is who they are. According to a Banner research in 2022, 68% of church-going guys, 68%, or I don't have the one for imams. If I have it, I will send it to Wendy. 68% of church-going men admitted to regularly visiting porn sites. And 50%, can someone put 50% of spiritual leaders? 50% of spiritual leaders regularly viewed porn, are hooked on it, are contributing to the sexual debauchery, are contributing to the trafficking of demons in their homes, are contributing to the generational bondage that translates to rage, inordinate affection, lack of sexual purity, and the loss of manpower, the loss of labor, the loss of ingenuity and creativity. Yes, 50% of spiritual leaders. How do you become a better parent? Can someone put in the comment, it begins with me. It begins with me. It begins with me. It starts with me. Can you say, I am the problem, I am the solution? Do you want to say that? I am the problem and I will become the solution. Do you want to say that? I need us to move quickly because I'm going to activate you prophetically. I've come to put an end to this craziness. I've come to put an end to the disruption and the slavery and the addictions that have begun from one generation. Most of the things we call generational curses are not generational curses. They are generational dysfunctions that began with a choice that became a habit, and a habit that became a pattern, and the pattern became a stronghold. It is a first choice, then it becomes a habit, then the habit becomes a character entrenchment, and the character entrenchment becomes a stronghold. Say, I am the problem and I will be the solution. So when your children are disrupting and not acting well and acting funny, you don't know the trafficking of demons, because the demon of lust is not casual. It has brothers and sisters. Lust comes with perversion, it comes with impurity, it comes with low self-esteem, it comes with relationship issues. So there's just a lot. Sexually transmitted diseases are not all you need to fear. They are also STD. It's not just sexually transmitted diseases. It's also sexually transmitted demons, whether you believe it or not. No encounter leaves our children the same. No encounter leaves us the same. For every time we open the portals in our home, we raise an altar. For every time we open the portals, we don't know. It's just like shooting in the dark. You don't know when your own child gets hit. They said parenting is war. I agree, but let me adjust it a little. Parenting is not just war. Parenting is a love war. So we are going to fight this war with understanding, but with love. If we do not fight this war with love, we will kill the people we should be saving, and we will judge the people we should be raising. Please write that down. Parenting is not just war. It is a love war. If we do not fight this battlefield of parenting with love, love as the foundation, love as the intention, love as the solution, we will kill the people we should be saving. We will judge the people we should be raising. So my desire is not for you to raise up a snobbish nose and a cultural elitist kind of stand and say it's them. No, I want you to grieve and have compassion that you may have contributed to the craziness in the society, and to look at your children and your spouses and look at yourself, and if possible, hate the sin, but help the sinner. Parenting is war. Parenting is a love word. So I'm going to show you quickly. Let me see. I don't know how much time I have. 7 ways that you can become a parent, a better parent. My title is not just becoming a better parent, it's becoming a better parent where it matters. All the other experts, I'm not a parenting expert. I'm a relationship coach, but I'm an intentional parent. 2 years ago, when I spoke at the intentional TIP conference, I said, you do not need to be a parenting expert. We have Wendy and Co for that. But you must become an intentional parent. You may not be a parenting expert, but there are 2 things you can be, or several things you can be. Let me submit some for your car. You can be a consecrated parent. You can be a holy parent. You can be an informed parent. You can be a purpose-driven parent. You can be a passionate parent. You can be a parenting expert. You don't have to be a parenting expert. Just love your kids more than you love porn. Love their future more than you love alcohol addiction. Love them more than you love shouting. Love them enough to look for ways to heal your trauma. Love them enough to model understanding, to model a family where it's safe, that people can fail and be vulnerable. Love them enough to say you're sorry when you're wrong. Love them enough to be slightly disciplined, just because baby see, baby do, monkey see, monkey do. Love them enough to, not because you want anybody to control you, but to demonstrate as a wife that you can have a different opinion from your husband and still be civil and courteous. Love them enough as a father and as a husband to not disregard the opinion of your wife, because you are modeling to them that the opinion of women do matter. Love them enough to change. Love them enough to draw the line in the sand and say, this will stop with me. It might have run from my great-grandfather to me, but it's going to run out with me. 7 ways you can become a better parent. The first and the most important way is spiritual identity and alignment. You're not just a homemaker. Oh, please don't tell me, but I'm just a homemaker. No, you're not just a homemaker. You're a disciple maker. Your children are your disciples. I strongly believe that the job that we have is not the PTGE, parents, teachers, government, and environment. The most important one is parents. You cannot abdicate the spiritual responsibility to church ministers. You can't abdicate the spiritual responsibility to Sunday school teacher. Every parent must be a Sunday school teacher. Should be. The same way you acquired engineering skills that you were not born with, and acquired teaching skills you were not born with, that's the same way your utmost should be for their highest. You should desire to learn and know God, hear his voice, learn how to steward the grace of God. If your children have an understanding of the spiritual identity, some of the external craziness will reduce. Your first responsibility is to be a discipler of children. Every parent should be a children's church minister. You have one child, teach them. Oh no, don't teach them about David and Goliath. And David threw the stone and Goliath fell Bosa. Not just Bible stories. Introduce them to the God of the Bible or whatever religion. You know why? Because children with a strong sense of spiritual identity, I did not say religion, I said spiritual identity, have better values, are value-based individual. So they make decisions from a place of conviction, just like the interaction between the king and his mother. He said, it is not fit for King Lemuel to drink strong wine. The conversation was not about wine. It's about what is not fit. Polished and fit. It is not fit for me to swear. It is not fit for me to ill. It is not fit. Your children should have their first alignment. You become a better parent when you take your own spiritual rules seriously. Did you know that according to the Bible Society of Global Bible Society, that 97% of children, 97% of the family gets born again or gets saved when the father accepts salvation? Now we're getting to the good statistics. 90s by just a father. Where are the men? Where are you? Where are you? Can you please come back into the room? Conferences are not for women alone. You see, this subjugation of priesthood, you are the king and the priest. While there are many powerful world changers that are raised by the faith of their mothers, the faith of mothers are powerful. I love them. The mantle of Deborahs are powerful. But did you know that children labor less spiritually if the men, if the fathers take the spiritual authority? 97% of children and the family, 97% of the family and extended family get saved, become Christians, or embrace the faith when the father first gets saved. Then 17% of the family gets saved when a mother. See the difference? So our work is easier if you do your work. So all this getting saved, the mother doing is 17% of the family. But when a father stands and said, this is where we are going, we will be a holy house, we will be, anytime the men are on board, 97% of engagement happens. And according to the International Bible Society, new Christians, new converts are usually between the ages of 4 and 14. So you see, the main work is not in adulthood. The main work is from 4 and 14. So we spend the time neglecting these children, then spend triple of resources and time and energy trying to do the work that we should have done when they were 4 and 14. Children believe in the supernatural until they come to our houses. When children are young, they believe, they know that God is a God of signs and wonders. Then we stifle them with culture. We tell them they can't dream. We tell them they must be doctors. They don't want to be doctors, they want to fly. Children believe in Neverland. They believe in a land where fish can fly and where birds can swim. They have vast potentials. And if we don't understand our spiritual role as guardians to cause them to unlock their mindset, because we didn't unlock us, we stifled them. Did you know that in the Bible, when Samuel lived with his foster father Eli, when God called him, the first 3 times he thought it was Eli? And many times you've heard that teaching and you're like, Samuel did not recognize the voice of God because he thought it was Eli. No, it simply means that the voice of God was as powerful as the voice of his father Eli. Hey, I hope someone gets this. The voice of God was so powerful that he could not distinguish Eli's voice with God's voice. That is the power you have. Your voice in your children's life is like the voice of God. How are you using it? Oloshi, is that the affirmation? My mentor, Fela Durotoye said, anything that you cannot say amen to, don't say it. Anything you cannot say amen to, don't say it. Eli, Samuel, he went to Eli, did you call me? Because God's voice in the home was so identical to the voice of his father. I want to submit for your kind consideration that the voice of God was so powerful, is as powerful as your voice. Your voice in the life of your children is so powerful that children don't know the difference. That is why many adults are spending years in therapy to heal from the wrong things parents said to them. That's how powerful your voice is. You can't use it carelessly. Becoming a better parent. First, spiritual alignment. Second, discipline. Discipline simply means for you to have self-government, for you to not be the area scatter, for you to not be the emotional yo-yo. You cannot, if you cannot have self-government or self-boundaries, how can we teach it? We become a better parent when we know the delicate intersection between the rod and staff. We don't err on the comfort without the correction, or go to the correction without the comfort. It simply means, this is the way I put it, do not be the mother or father who pours out grace when a rod of correction is required. Have the strength to be disciplined, to know that there is a place for compassion and there is a place for correction. But if you don't have those boundaries in your own life, if your own life, anything goes, how would you know? I love how Dr. Kevin Leman puts it. Dr. Kevin Leman said, rules without relationship would lead to rebellion. Let me take it one more time. Rules without relationship would lead to rebellion. So on one hand, you have the authoritarian parent. I brought you into this world, I can take you out. And you have the extra permissive parent. I want you to have everything that I did not have. That's not the goal is to have a delicate intersection, to see the child, to see the personhood, to have the consciousness, to see their deity, but also know that you're a steward. And I'm going to give a quick example. Last year, I slept off on the couch when I went for a treatment. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. God is keeping me till 100 years because there is work here to do. So I woke up and I saw an email from a particular children's cancer group thanking me for my donation. I'm like, I don't remember. And I traced when the donation was made, and the donation was made when I was sleeping. So I said, it must not be me. And the only person at home was one of my kids. So I called, I said, did you play with mommy's phone? She was looking at me, but my kids tell me the truth. She said, yes, mommy. I said, did you make a donation in my name? She said, yes, mommy. While I was, playing with your phone, I was just watching, YouTube, and this advert for children that has cancer. So I donated, and I clicked, and, my setting was loose. Then now I have changed my setting. And immediately I wanted to come hard at her. You are not, how can you do that? That's in, I remembered what I'm teaching you, the delicate intersection between the rod and staff. I didn't dismiss it, and at the same time, I didn't want to crush her spirit. What I saw was a compassionate child that needed to be taught boundaries. So I educated her on how you cannot give what is not yours, number 2, and how you cannot make donations without asking people, and how you cannot use people's phone, that's impersonation. Then I also taught her on boundaries, and that the far-reaching implication of making a donation as Eden A. Onwuka when she's not Eden A. Onwuka. Then I also said to her, you can ask me anything. Anything you ask me is either a yes, a no, or a wait. There's nothing you cannot ask me. And I now shared how she could have done it differently. If she had waited and I woke up and she had explained to me, I could have said, oh, I love your compassion, but you know what? Let's go to your savings. How much? And I will put it from our savings. And while I taught her that of the theftiness of making a donation with money that is not her, I also affirmed her that in a world of sadistic, greedy, entitled children, we can have someone that their heart beats when they see sickness. And I said to her, never lose your compassion. Never lose this sense of advocacy. I want you to be like your grandmother, my mom of blessed memory, her excellency, that paid up people's school fees, that, hosted and, that opened their families to sisters, that trained people's children. That generosity that I have, I love that you have it. Keep the generosity. Keep the compassion. I want you to keep it. So it's intersection between the rod and the staff, where you do not extend grace when there should be discipline, and where you should not hit the gavel when there should be compassion. So after explaining it like that, you people are clapping. I gave her a consequence. So the consequence of making a donation without asking me is that you don't have a Christmas gift. You spent your Christmas money. So I love you enough to explain to you what you should do next. But because you send the money to the children in the cancer, that is your gift, and it hurt her. But she learned. Sweet, intelligent, A-list, compassionate child. Discipline. Dr. Kevin Lehman, rules without relationship leads to rebellion. I'm going to move quickly. I think I have just a couple of minutes. Thank you for to the excellent TIP team. I told them to let me know. So number 1, spiritual alignment, where you are not, you see, the previous generation, you had parents, then you have spiritual parents. This generation, the spiritual parents are just the contributor. You should be the spiritual parent of your child first. And don't tell me, I don't know, it's not my calling. You learned everything you knew. So you can learn spirituality. You can read the Bible. You can ask God for yourself. You see this thing that we check out and say, hey, they let them take us to church. The church will teach them. No, the church is not teaching them. You know why? They only spend 4 Sundays in church. How much can the church teach them in a curated 90-minute service? They spend more time with you and I. You didn't know that? They spend more time with what? You and I. You are their spiritual parent. You are the curse breaker. You are the life changer. You are their greatest guardian. Nobody is anointed and appointed to parent them like you. Number 3, growth and maturity. You cannot become a better parent if you are not continuously on a growth journey. And this is part of a growth journey. But the greatest growth journey I want to bring is listening. Most parents are poor listeners. How would you hear the cry of the soul of your parent? I heard about a child music minister, a child music star, Christian music star, who lost himself in the pandemic. You know why? Because the parents could not hear his crisis. The questions he was asking, they say, your mind is dark. So he went to a neighbor who was a trans person and, confided, and the comfort and the understanding and the listening and the love this neighbor gave him, the boy changed to a trans, because the only place he felt he was understood. So while you are saying this, and you are doing all this authoritative, the world is telling them love is love. Come to me, I can hear you. Your parents don't understand you. They are mean. So I want you to be disciplined, but I want you to be ever growing on to learn how to listen. To learn how to listen without bias, to learn how to listen without being in shock, to learn how to listen without shutting them down. Listen is the difference in how you ask questions. I used to pick up my kids and say to them, how was your day? American kids, good. Did you have a good day? Yes. And many of us have monosyllable. You know why? Because the children know that we are not interested. We are just ticking the boxes. How can you listen? And this listening will help you in your personal relationship, in your marriage, in your career as a salesperson. And you listen by asking open-ended questions. So I switched the question. When I now pick my kids, I say, tell me about your day. And they're like a tap you turn open. The difference between how was your day and tell me about your day made them the speaker and I the listener. The difference between when a child tries to tell you, Mommy, I want to now be a singer. You will never be a singer. You will never. God will know. The difference between, tell me more. And they're like, it's because Shirley, tell me more. Tell me more. Listen to your kids. The world is listening to them. You didn't know? YouTube is listening to them. The world is listening to them. I think I'm going to stop because of my time. Anyway, you don't grow until you have someone else whose life is more important than yours. Number 4, shape their identity with loving affirmations. I am the queen of affirmations. I have affirmations for men, a man and a half, 200 affirmations for men who walk in dominion. I have affirmations for women, 100 affirmations for the woman who wants to be more and will not settle for less, a woman and a half. And right now, we've curated affirmations for girls, which is girl get up, 50 affirmations for the girl what's the title again? Girl get up. The world, 50 affirmations for the girl who wants to take up space. And we are working on the one for men. But the greatest affirmation is what you are saying to them about them. I wanted to share a story. Maybe I'll end at number 4 because I like to be respectful of time. I had a client, an older white male who sat in my office. And after supporting what he came for, very wealthy, he opened up about his only daughter that went to juvenile camp, that's, youth jail. And I could see the heartbreak of a father who loved his child. And he chronicled on how she started, first by sleepovers and engaging with the wrong crowd until she became so hooked on sexual perversion and drugs. And they felt as a parent that they couldn't help her. So they put her in juvenile. When I asked her, how did he start? He started with a divorce, an ugly divorce between him and his alcoholic wife. He takes responsibility, but just seeing a mother who has checked out of life and just seeing, she just felt lost in this parenting battle. She felt lost in parents that are always doing tug of war. She felt lost. But one thing that I said to him, I like to ask question, what do you think happened? Why did our choices get darker and darker at 13 and 14 and 15? And she was living with a sexual pimp. You know what he said to me? That is the most important thing I've heard about parenting. And I wrote it down. And I want to give it to you as gold. You know what he said? He said, I guess she got to a point with all the turmoil and the strife and the accusation back and forth, and every time she made a mistake, we came so hard on her. She got to a point where she felt she couldn't measure up. Please write this down. Don't forget it. When she felt she couldn't measure up, she began to measure down. When you create an environment where your children feel they cannot measure up, when your children cannot measure up, they start to measure down. When they feel that they will never be enough, it's not a safe place for them to be broken. It's not a safe place for them to be crushed. You are so glorious in your perfectionism. So when they feel they cannot measure up, they get darker and darker, because they're like, what is the point anyway? Even if I get a 70%, my mom is going to shout. What's the point? Even if I pray once a week, mom is going to shout. So if my little conscious contribution of good is never enough, I measure down. If they don't measure up, if they feel they can't measure up, they will measure down. Number 5, control your own trauma. I will not go into it. The statistics that I read in the beginning is the title. Control your own trauma and your personal threats. They're not going to tell me what to do with my money. Dude, it's not about you. You're going to tell me, are you going to tell me it's still not between two consenting adults? I wish it was between two consenting adults. No, it's not two consenting adults. Your trauma is showing and your children are picking it. Your personal threats and your drinking and your smoking and your womanizing, you are bringing in things into the lives of our children. So please control your own trauma. Because if you don't control your own trauma, you will now raise another generation. And as I round up, thank you, Chidozie. You become a better parent where it matters. Number 1, where you take the spiritual government and alignment in your home and become not just a homemaker, a disciple maker. Number 2, where you live by discipline, an intelligent, delicate blend between the rod and the staff. Number 3, where you prioritize your growth and maturity by being a listening parent. Number 4, where you shape the identity of your children with loving affirmations, cause them to know that they don't have to measure up so that they don't measure down. Number 5, confront your own traumas. You see this, your appetite for whatever you have appetite for. Please, there are far-reaching effects on our kids. And number 6, as I close, and the most important, is visualization. I want you to discern your kids' future by going back to God and asking them, when you created them before you planted them in my wombs, and you know men have wombs, the wombs of your spirit, women have physical wombs. When you created them, what did you want them to be? And please don't tell me you don't understand. Eli saw the destiny of Samuel when Hannah was praying. Manoah and his wife asked God about the destiny of Samson. That's why they did not cut mohawk for Samson. They gave him dreads. Maybe in a generation like today, when we have not visualized the spiritual destiny of our kids, we are raising kids like every other kid. There is a blueprint for your family. Have you even thought to ask God, or you are just you don't care? Take the time. God is always speaking if you are listening. You have 2 kids, you have 4, you have 5. Ask God, what is the spiritual destiny of Olamiwa? What is the spiritual destiny of Smith? Labor in prayer so you can bet the spiritual destiny. And before you think I'm throwing just Bible at you, Mr. Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams, bettered their spiritual destiny. And he saw tennis players when nobody had ever held a racket in his home, in the children. So imagine if he didn't discern, there will be no Serena the Great, the GOAT, greatest of all time. How many of us have Serenas that we forced to work in a bank? How many of us have Venuses that we are forcing to become doctors? I want you to take 1 minute. Chidozie, give me 2 minutes, okay, please? I ask with every grace and kindness. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes. And please, you may have to take this exercise out of here. I do that in my mentoring groups. See your children in their future. Just close your eyes. Let me give you an example. Isioma, mighty woman of God, powerful youth ministry. The message of discipline, consecration, and creativity. I see her as a wealthy repertoire of creativity. So my contribution is that I will not stifle her voice. She's a bold girl. I will find a way to equip her and guide her so that she can be bold. And this, I'm seeing Isioma, look at that. So I'm seeing her at age 90. Visualize your children at age 90, then walk it backwards. Stephen Covey said, walk with the end inside. The problem with our parenting is that we are parenting as we go. Parent with the end, find the end, the children of integrity, the children of excellence, the children of wealth, then start to walk it backwards. When you visualize this destiny of your children, then you will know what they need to do and what they don't need to do. I have a couple of statistics I put, not statistics, a couple of consequences I put together. Why am I big on porn? Because that porn is affecting productivity and identity. It hinders intimacy. It's giving your children permission to contribute their wealth to human trafficking. It creates demonic access into your home. And there are 3 stages in whatever your child is going through. You will hear Reverend Christy Bature and David coming, and they're going to teach on addictions. But there are 3 stages I have learned in my 15 years of coaching. For anything, whether it's talking back, SAS, there is curiosity, there is exploration, and there is degradation, CED. Curiosity is when the child is still learning that I can push the envelope. And they are trying to find a taste for that thing, whatever that thing is, whether it's rudeness, whether it's whatever. Then there's exploration when they are now digging deep. Then there's degradation where there's full-blown addiction. I'm hoping that God empowers us as we become better parents to prioritize where it matters and catch things at the curiosity stage or the exploration stage. This is your activation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This has been an amazing session, and Coach Wendy is live in the studio with us for tonight. Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you so much, Dossier, and thank you, Coach Eden. You know, I was listening and I was actually on the move at some point, and and as I was listening to, I don't know if you've ever listened to Coach Eden before. You should actually go back to TIP annual conference 2 years ago. So when we bring speakers, we don't bring them, you won't be able to piece it together except you go back to where they are coming from. Trust me. You would need to go back to that session, listen to that session. You will be able to understand some of the things that she has said today. It is when the team were talking to me about this conference, I said this conference is curated in the prophetic. There's a realm that have been entered. I know it like I know my name. And when you listen to all of the speakers, you will see that there's a prophetic realm that have been declared. And we're not saying it because it's sweet in the mouth to say prophetic realm. No. We're saying it because it's true. All right. I want to say thank you to Coach Eden. That was, in fact, I am sure that you didn't hear another speaker say some of the things he said today, and they were absolutely correct, because I myself have heard same things. A speaker was here yesterday morning, and he said, while he was speaking, he said, I had prepared my note. I thought that this is what I'm going to share. And all of a sudden, God said, this is not what you're supposed to share to this audience. You need to change it. And then when I listened to that session, it was chilling. It was as if, there was something. And that's a speaker I know. And I know how his words can be sweet. There was nothing sweet about it. He was completely chilling. And I want to tell you, if you're listening to me, that what we're doing here is not ordinary. The people that speak at the TIP annual conference are not ordinary. Trust me when I say so. You don't just walk, you don't just stroll into the TIP annual conference. Trust me, you don't. There is something about the TIP annual conference. You don't stroll into it. You can't just speak. It's not everybody you find on this platform. Not everyone. So when you hear these speakers, trust me, there is something. Every single one person have said the same thing in different ways that have aligned to the same theme. And that's amazing. And it's interesting to note I've never discussed any of this topic with any of the speakers. I have never. I don't do it. I don't call any speaker to say, you know what, this topic you are speaking now, this is how you're supposed to say it to these people so that they will hear. No, I have learned on my journey that there is a place for God to be able to actually speak to his people through people, beyond what it is that I think people should be hearing per time. And I tell you for free, you have heard the things you should be hearing today. But the thing will be, what will you do with it? Thank you again, Coach Eden. I am so grateful to have you here. Once again, I do not take your time for granted. I love you. I honor you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. I'm short of words. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you? Oh, my network has been terrible. I am short of words. This is like the academy coming to me to my face. Talks about media plan. Everything we talk about in the academy. Thank you, Coach Eden. This is beautiful. Coach Wendy, the Asha of parenting, the Deborah of our time, we appreciate you so much. Everything was just on point. Everything. If you're not in the TIP Academy, wallah, you are missing. You are missing a great deal. This is media plan and everything you've been talking about, porn addiction, the need for us to be on our toes, the need for us to be intentional. And she did say something. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional.
That's it.
To me, that's the highlight. That's the highlight. So any woman or any man or father, mother that is listening today, I don't know why we should be cajoled. This is an opportunity for us to know that we are in the battlefield. And until we take the battle to the camp of our enemies, they will seize our children and we will lose them for real. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you.
Over to you,
Dozie. Thank you very much, ma'am. I don't know if we can take questions. We'll have another session at 6 p.m. So if you have a question, drop it in the comment section. We'll let Coach Eden take maybe 1 or 2 questions before she leaves. It was so funny when she talked about spiritual alignment. Parents, did you hear that you should not be telling that story? What is that? David threw the stone. Goliath fell. But please, spiritual alignment is a big one. There's a lot that she has talked about: disciplining, balancing between the rod and the staff.
Exactly.
Shaping the identity of your child. Visualization. You should go back and listen to all of these sessions again. I'm sure you didn't hear any of it. Go back and listen to them all over again. But let's see if we have any questions in the comment section so that we can let Coach Eden take a bow. Any questions? Okay.
No.
Enjoy the academy. The details are scrolling on the screen. It has been scrolling throughout all this session. Pay 5,000 naira this night. If not, you will pay 100,000 in the next 2 days. So pay 5,000 naira, book a session. Book a spot.
Money.
Shower myself is more than 5K sometimes. But,
I don't know. I know in my mentoring community, this time is our book review. So I think my team are taking care of the book review. But if I have a member of my team, just put in my details everywhere. I'm easy to find. I'm Eden A. Onwoka everywhere on LinkedIn.
There is no other Eden A. Onwoka. So
the A must be there. Eden A.
Please, that A is very important.
It's very important because Wendy, I am a proud Anambra American.
I know.
And the A is Adobe, so it's grounding for me. So for those that are asking for my handle, eden.a.onwoka on Instagram, Eden A. Onwoka everywhere. So I think we can take 1 or 2 questions quickly. Yeah. I'm just laughing at the comments. Just a couple of.
Let's see if we have any. I don't see any questions.
Okay, no questions. Awesome.
Everyone is overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed. We're trying to digest it.
They're chilling. Find yourself. Breathe. That's the word that
I think we should begin to let Coach Eden go so that we don't also keep her for so long, man. Please, what will be share your last words to the audience as we begin to round off today?
Okay, so someone was asking about porn addiction. I believe that the principles for addiction management that Reverend Christy Bature will share would help. Some of those principles are very interchangeable. So please don't lose hope. But one thing you can do is to become a spiritual stronghold over your child. You are a principality in the life of your child. So you stop getting helpless. One of the things I said to the elder man who said that the child felt she couldn't measure up, so she measured down. I said, you've done everything right. You've sought help, you've done everything. I said, but there's one thing I haven't heard you do, and I'm not taking from what you have done. I want you to war over your child. Your voice in the life of your child is like the voice of God. So you stand and say, you have to get through me to get to her, but I'm drawing a bloodline. When last did you spend? I'm not talking about sporadic prayer, careless, unguarded, unarranged, this spiritual, what my DDK calls spiritual anyhowness. That's not what I'm talking about. How have you taken one day a week for one child?
That's it.
So if you took one full night every week to do vigil, not because there is a problem, but because you are grounding their destiny. So you can dedicate just one day to war over each child, and you do that every single month. You would have warred over that child 12 times every year. Where is the devil who can create things without your authority? I want you to have a territorial mindset as parents. You can shape and allow and disallow what happens in your home, in your community. Let me give you one example, and I'll pass it back to you, Wendy. One of my twin daughters, my precious girls, one of them started getting like a feedback from her class. These are A-list girls. Feedback from her class that she's not listening and those kind of, I'm like, where did this pattern? But someone saying, you're not listening. Bawai, bawai, bawai. That's not the point. You're not asking questions. I'm like, what exactly is happening? So I'm like, where is this change happening? So I called her, had a conversation with her, and just wanted to hear her heart. Then you know what I did from my business? I went to the school. I went to the school to sit with the teachers, to let them know you have my contribution, you have my partnership. I don't know what's going on. You said that 3 or 4 times she's not listening. You tell her to move her back, she's not. So I want you to know. Well, you know why I did it? I took authority. I went to establish spiritual government. I wanted to discern what was happening in the class. So I was now to find that there was a new substitute teacher. The complaints started when the new substitute teacher came in. So I started looking, I introduced myself to the substitute teacher, shook her hands and released, you know what, if there's any energy, negative energy you are releasing, give her a gift, lavished on her, and just said, I'm willing. And just to let her know, I am watching you. So the substitute teacher took a week off, and the week the substitute teacher was not around, no complaint. So anytime the substitute teacher comes, there's a complaint. So because I have spiritual alignment over the life of my children, I was able to discern that there's something about her spirit that triggers one of my child. I didn't say that every time. Please don't misquote me. I didn't say whenever there's an issue that is. I'm telling you, that is what having spiritual jurisdiction over your children are. So I realized now, you know what? I disbanded that spiritual energy. And I said, God, this something in her, maybe a demon is triggering, I don't know. But I prayed out of the school. She left the school after a month and no complaint. So the teacher said, I was shocked. She only reacts that way to that teacher. This is not about teachers. My mom was a teacher for 35 years. Teachers are fantastic. I'm a teacher by calling. It's just about that learned helplessness. You are not helpless. You are a powerhouse. You are an advocate, and I want you to know that I love you and you are doing well. Don't relent. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Coach Eden Amoka. And that was Coach Eden Amoka. You will find her everywhere online as Eden A. Amoka. Do not remove the A. If you remove the A, you won't find her. Trust me. And Coach Eden had been someone that I have learned so much from, especially her journey through cancer. It was mind blowing for me, and there was so much for me to learn. All right, so, and I will be speaking at one of our conferences come September. Something that I am so grateful for. All right, and something you need to follow Coach Eden. She is very active on Facebook. You want to follow her and share her flowers. Give her flowers. Give it to her. I'm very excited this evening after actually that I'm going to be having Reverend Christy Bature share at the next session. And if you know who Reverend Christy Bature is, then you do not want to miss that section. Believe you me, the people that have been brought to you at this conference is a function of the unction that you see at the TIP Academy. Do not take that for granted. And that is what it is that we're putting here together for you. And, you know, we're also going to be having the last speaker, David Folerami, somebody I have mentored for years, somebody that gives me so much joy when I hear him speak. You want to listen to David. David did 7 years being in addiction, drug. You think it's a joke, then you want to be here and hear how David was born in a church, how David's mom is a deaconess in a church, and yet David lived in the bunk. You don't want to miss that session because you want to learn why was he in the bunk and what even led him to doing drugs for 7 years. And interestingly, I have a story about David I'm going to share with you at that session. I had a personal encounter, something that I've never forgotten in my life. And you want to see how ignorance can make a mess of your process if you do not understand what you need to do. And he says, oh, sorry, David comes before Reverend Bature. Thank you. The next session is actually David. Amazing. The next session is actually David by 6. You want to be there at David's session, all right? It's so amazing and something to be glad for. I've had 2 of my mentees speak today. Coach Tony Obo and David is also going to speak again today. It is such an honor to see them, you know, release so much power. Listen, and I take note while the sessions go on. At 6, we will be with David, and you want to be there to hear his story. And then we close the session with Reverend Bature. Reverend Bature is going to be teaching you on addiction. She's also a woman who came from a family of addictions. And honestly speaking, you don't want to be that. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Juan. It is such an honor to have you moderate for us. And thank you to the back team. I see you guys. Precious, Dozier, Augustine. My team has been tirelessly working. It's like a back-to-back session today. You don't want to know what has gone behind the scene. If you know, blood, money, sweat, name it. I don't even want to go on and on. Some of us haven't slept. Like we have not slept 24 hours. We're here. But we're here popping. We need to pop, yeah? We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice because we need to be here to deliver on the mandate. Because excuses can be valid, they can be solid, but they are not tenable, right? And they can be tenable, but they are not even, they don't give you results. Like I tell the parents in the inner always, there is no result in excuses. No matter how much excuses you give for not doing what you're supposed to do as a parent, nothing will change. It doesn't matter how much you pray. If you don't do the work, you're stuck where you are stuck. All right. I see some people asking about the inner circle. The inner circle is an annual program. Juan, you want to take it from there as we close this?
Yes. Okay. The inner circle is the flagship program of the Intentional Parents Academy. 1-year program. A program where there is accountability, where there is intentionality about everything that you do. So everything you've heard on this conference that has to do with media plan, that has to do with you building a peace plan, everything you can ever think about is done in the inner circle for a token of 70,000. But that fee is going to be over in 2 days from now, because on the 1st of August it's going to be 100,000. But with a token of 5,000 naira, you can get on the train. So if you've heard so much from this conference, it is time for you to know that it is time to do the work. Do not get overwhelmed. For us in the inner circle, we're not overwhelmed because these are things we've been doing every day. These are things we've been hearing every day. It's just a way of reaffirming everything that Coach Wendy has been teaching, has been telling us about We do daily affirmations. We do book reviews, monthly book reviews. So if you're not reading, if you do not read, if you come to the inner circle, you must read, because the inner circle is about being a better you so you can have a better child. Inner circle, 70,000, 5,000, a deposit.
Thank you so much, Juan, and thank you so much for being here with me. You heard it. The inner circle is 5,000 naira booking. If you do not book between now and that is Sunday, Monday, it means you will pay 100,000. And even if you do pay 100,000, you see, people are saying, someone reached out to me today and said, I feel so bad that I'm attending this conference free. Ma, I want to give you money. Once you said it, I looked at it. That's how you feel when you get into the inner circle. So you pay money. There are people in the inner circle that pay every month. Apart from the fee that they've paid, they just say, you know what, coach, I feel so bad that the inner circle has too much resources. I want to pay more. I don't think I'm paying enough. So if you feel that you're getting anything, in a conference, believe you me, this is a joke compared to what it is that the inner circle is about. This is like dress rehearsal. You know what I mean? Nah. So let's go to see David for Laura. You don't want to miss that session. Thank you, Juan, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
Is here.
Please let's make some noise on the social media handles. Send out your fire emoji and let all of us know. Everybody know what is happening. Thank you, Coach Wendy.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to also invite someone. All right. Don't forget to hit the like button of this video and subscribe to the channel and follow through as we go on. Please share this link with someone to invite somebody, and they will be grateful. See you and see you in the next 5 minutes at the next session. Thank you.